Who painted my floor? Who wants a white floor? Who's gonna keep that clean? Your security deposit is mine now. Alright, Zell, you want to make our way through the DIY subreddit again and see what we can learn?
Don't you forget about me.
You just want to go back to sleep? That's okay. Boop, boop.
All right.
Welcome back to another riveting episode of Man That Drinks Unique Beverage Teaches About Home Improvement Things while kind of making fun of them. As most of you probably know, when you're renting, there's very minimal amount of construction you should be doing on the property. Small things you could probably get away with in a rental. I think removing carpet and painting subfloor might not be one of the things that most landlords are going to be okay with. So it starts off saying, home reno, removing our carpet in our rental and painting the plywood underneath. The plywood underneath, subflooring, is usually OSB. OSB is a pretty terrible grade plywood that you're not really supposed to use as like a finishing layer. It tends to be like in a wall, behind something, under something. It's not something you want to see and be around often. And I'm pretty sure it off gases can be like formaldehyde, carcinogens, you know, the good stuff. The healthy stuff, the stuff that can give you asthma and all kinds of respiratory issues. Let me check my sources and make sure I'm giving you the right information. So doityourself.com, probably the best source I can find for this, it seems, says yes, OSB or oriented strand board does have a low but existing toxicity. The resin puts out a low level of formaldehyde gas, which is not more than 10% of national standards. This makes the chance of toxicity low, but it does exist. So sure, it might not be the most unsafe thing to use, still probably not a good idea for multiple reasons. It's not your floor. It's a rental property. It's made of just chunks of other wood, so you're probably gonna have splinters at the wazoo no matter how much sanding you do. But I mean, then again, what doesn't cause cancer nowadays, Zella? Everything fun causes cancer. I mean, you can't rip up the carpet in your house, sand it and paint it, and do a little jig on it because you might get cancer. What are we supposed to do?
All right.
So let's see what this turns into. So they remove all the stuff from the room, and then they just start ripping and cutting the carpet. I kind of thought they were going to try to save the carpet so when they move out, they can reverse this irreversible damage they've now caused. But instead, they're just hacking it down the center. Probably just going to throw it in the trash out front and call it done. Then once they move out, the landlord's going to come in, look at the floor and be like, "What'd you do? Where'd my carpet go? Who painted my floor? Who wants a white floor? Who's gonna keep that clean? Your security deposit is mine now." What did you think was gonna happen? Did you think I was gonna like this? No. It looks like they might be at least saving the carpet padding. Maybe they saved the carpet and they're just gonna leave the line down the center, but I don't think these people probably thought that far ahead. Not quite sure. Smart enough to wear a mask so all the carcinogens don't go into his lungs. Dumb enough to do this in the first place. Absolutely no amount of sanding is going to make OSB as smooth as good high-grade plywood or just flooring. Any of the cheapest flooring you could buy on the planet is going to be better than sanding this much OSB with a palm-sized sander. This is going to take him 9 years to do. There's no way he sanded this whole floor with that sander. I guarantee after they painted this, they're getting splinters every day. This is such a stupid idea. This is so dumb. This is so stupid. Now, where the baseboard meets the now lower floor because they took the carpet and everything out, they're running a bead of caulk around it. Not the worst thing, but this is a rental property. If somebody did this to my rental, if I had a rental, if I could afford a house in this world we live in now, if I came in and somebody did this to my floor, I don't even know. I don't even know what I would do. You'd have to remove the caulk. I guess you could just put the carpet and everything back on top of the paint, but like, it's just so stupid. I can't even begin to imagine the scenario where like this couple was like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna rip the entire carpet out of our bedroom and we're gonna run a bead of caulk around, and then we're gonna sand it with a tiny palm sander, and then we're gonna just paint it white. Like, there's no way that's not gonna get dirty as hell in like days. This is bonkers. So they hired a painter, and he had to have shown up, and they were like,
Yeah. So we ripped the carpet out. We took out the carpet pad. We spent 4.5 weeks sanding it. Now we just don't want to paint it. So here's a gallon of white paint, and you just paint the subfloor white. That's the end of our project.
what? You want to pay me to paint a subfloor? Are you sure that's what you want me to paint? But I mean, if somebody's paying, I don't like painting, but I'll paint whatever you want me to paint if you pay me. I mean, honestly, like, the easiest thing to paint would probably be a floor. You just grab a roller on a big old stick. You just doot, 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 doot. You just paint the floor. Like, I don't understand why he's using this tiny roller right here anyways. Oof. And that's it. Garbage. Like, there's just, who wants a white floor? All this work and their bed is on some pallets. They put so many hours into this, and then they just throw a bed in the center of the room on a pallet. And then they just dance. There's no way that she doesn't have like 47 splinters. I mean, look right here by the light. It turned out so beautiful. This looks like you unfinished your attic and you were like, boop, throw a bed in there. Here's some books on a floor with a half dead plant and a light plugged into a wall. I mean, you could practically see the splinters coming up from the plywood. This makes me never want to be a landlord. One of my favorite comments is, that's gonna be tacky and sticky as hell in the summer humidity and always smell like paint. Plus the echo, no one ever thinks about the acoustics. I mean, if you're standing in that room and you're having a conversation, it would sound like you're in a cavern. Good night, honey. Good night. See you tomorrow. I love you too. What'd you say? I love you too. What? I'm sorry, where you going? And then where it's the morning and good night, and I'm sorry. It would sound so bad in that room. Last but not least is, all you need is a comfy little straitjacket to snuggle up in and call that place home. Drive me insane living in that room. I think I've hit my stress level for today. Why don't we see if we can find one more to learn something from. All right, let's take a peek at the $50 Facebook Marketplace listing for what used to be a table. It's spray foam again. It just looks like mold. I mean, oh, the poor cat. Why are there always cats near spray foam furniture? Is it like a thing where if you have a cat, you have to have spray foam furniture? Or to be able to own spray foam furniture, you have to have a cat? I mean, this can't be real. This has to be somebody just had a table and they were like, I'm going to throw it away. And I have a half a can of spray foam left. I can't even. All right. Well, I suppose that's enough for today. Did we learn anything this time? What did we learn? I think I learned something. What did I learn? Maybe I didn't learn anything. Did you learn anything?